know what, man? We need to have a real discussion about this, right? Now, let me tell you why. Another reason why a lot of relationships and a lot of marriages fail is because a lot of y'all women out there don't want a man to discipline your children, or don't want a man to correct your children and show them how they supposed to conduct themselves in a home. This is why the family structure is unsuccessful and why it's so easy for the devil to come in and just destroy it, to break up families and happy homes, man. Now let me tell y'all this. Y'all women, when y'all get into a relationship with a man, right? Y'all gotta let that man play his role. You gotta let that man be a father, even if the child is not his biological son or daughter. You gotta let that man play that role as the child's father. You gotta let that man be a husband, a father, a provider, a protector. All of this stuff is a man's role. And a lot of y'all women out there don't want a man to do that. A lot of y'all women say, well, I love to be in a relationship with you, but I don't want you correcting my child. I don't want you, talking to my child or trying to get in the way of my child relationship and all of this stuff. That's not how it works. A house divided can never stand. Understand that. So if you got a mother, a woman that you're in a relationship with that becomes your wife, and her and the children are against you, the man that's trying to hold down the household and be the protector, the provider, and lead this household, and they fighting against you, it's going to be hard to stay in a relationship like that. And a lot of men just up and leave because of that. They just up and leave because they don't want to deal with the resistance. They don't want to deal with having to fight a mother and their children when they just trying to be a man, when they just trying to, do what God sent them to do or be what God sent them to be in a household. Now, I believe like this. As long as a man is telling you right, long as he's telling you right, like, doing the right things, like trying to protect this household and trying to, teach your kids, how to be adults, responsibility, and trying to teach them about life. I ain't talking about men that go around abusing children or hitting on them or beating on them or none of that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about a man who just being a man, who playing his sole purpose in a household is to be the head of the household. That's what I'm talking about. Now, a lot of y'all women out there don't want a man to be that. Y'all don't want a man to be the head. Y'all want to fight against the head of the household. And that's the problem. That's why, that's why families can't stand. That's why people can't stay together in relationship. This is why a lot of men leave women, because of this exact reason. But they don't see that. So, a lot of men feel like, okay, well, if you feel as though, you could do it by yourself, then I'll leave. You go and do it by yourself. And then when it comes to a point where, I'm not saying that a mother can't do it by herself, because my mother did it by herself. I'm not saying that women can't. But what I'm saying is a man is supposed to be there to help you. That's the whole reason why God put people together. So you won't have to take that whole burden on by yourself. A man, your companion, is supposed to take half of that burden. But a lot of men be like, okay, she don't want nobody correcting her kids. She don't want to be a family structure. She want to say, well, I be in a relationship, but let me handle my kids and let me do this and let me do that. fine, do it yourself. A lot of men just feel like that. And, a lot of women want to say, oh, he's just a weak man, or, he just want to give up every time confrontation comes, or, he just not strong enough to do this. It's not that a man not strong enough. That's not the truth. A lot of us men are overqualified because we men. That's the way God made us. But when you got a household that's fighting against you, and you know that what you're doing is right, and what you're doing is trying to, doing it the way God told you to do it, then I understand that you're going to get resistance from the devil. But when you get resistance from your own household, the people that live inside your household, that makes it 10 times harder. And this what a lot of women just don't understand. They don't take stuff like this into accountability. Now, I'm not saying that the man is always right. When a man is wrong, he's wrong too. We got to own up to all of our responsibilities. But long as a man is telling you right, or telling your children right, or trying to correct them in the right way so they won't make the mistakes and mess up their life, because most of us men already been through it. And we can see where these young boys or young girls are headed to. So when we try to sit down and talk to them and try to explain to them stuff like this, then they get frustrated, and then they get in their mind that now they got to choose. And any parent is going to pick their child. I'm not saying nothing is wrong with that. We supposed to stand up for our children. I do the same thing. But all I'm saying is taking accountability of what's really going on, and see, that this thing is about family. It's about us. It's about letting a man play his role in a household, and being a family structure. Now, if a man is telling a woman right, and he leading, his family in the right direction, then I feel as though, a woman should support her man in her decision making, whether it come to disciplining a child, or correcting a child, or however, because what you're ultimately doing is for the benefit of the child. But they don't see that. Nothing in a relationship is going to be perfect. Somewhere in a relationship, you always going to have some resistance. Always going to have resistance. We always going to disagree. We always going to have certain things about us that our partner won't like, or people in our household is not going to agree with. They're not going to like that. And somebody who stands up for what's right and trying to protect their own, household, and trying to protect their family and really be the man of the house, they're not going to like that. They're going to feel like, a lot of these women out here feel like, well, I'm the boss of my house. I'm the head of my household. I run my house. I say what goes on here. I say what goes on there. This is the reason why a lot of relationships fail. Because a lot of these women don't want to take their place in falling in line how God made it. God made the man the head, and then a woman his helpmate. So that means that, you supposed to stand behind the man. You supposed to support the man that's leading the household, not trying to fight against the man or trying to be equal to the man. God didn't make us equal. He made Adam first, then he made Eve. He made Eve from a rib of the man. He made the woman to be the man's helpmate. And this is what women got to understand. But these women nowadays, man, they feel like they want to be the head. They want to be in charge. They want to be in control. And when you got to fight against a woman like that, you might as well, you feel like you're fighting against another man, even though it's a woman. Because she don't even want you to take your place as the head of the household, or as the head. Because the Bible say you are the head and not the tail. So ain't no way in the world you going to put me in a tail and you think you going to be the head. That's not how it's going to work. Or it's not going to work out, period. And that's just how it's going to go. Now, I'm a man. Now, when I get into a relationship with a woman, I want you to understand this. I'm going to be the head. I'm not saying that I got to make more money than you. I'm not saying that I got to have a better career than you, because money does not make you the head. Who make the more money? Who make the most money? That's what people think. And that's not the way it go. Just because a woman got a high paying salary than a man, you making $100,000-$200,000 a year, and a man only making $70,000-$80,000, that still don't make you the head. You still a tail because you still behind the man. The man is the one that holds down the household, that protects the household. That is a man's job. You can't do a man's job. That's what these women nowadays want to do. They want to say, because I'm making more money than you, that I'm the man of the house. No, you can never be the man of the house, because God made you a woman. These are the reasons why a lot of relationships and a lot of things don't work out, man. Because of us. And just because you're a man, let me say this too on the flip side of that. Just because you're the head, that don't mean that you're supposed to just try to like overpower a woman, or try to, like stand over a woman. That's not what God talking about. He's not talking about like just trying to, go around like you the just king of the earth and you the king of the world. No, you respect that woman. You give that woman the same amount of respect in decisions making and all of that. We supposed to be able to come to agreement to where we can agree. And what makes this thing work is both of us, not just one. Just because God say the man is the head, that don't mean that he don't need the tail. We need both of us, as a family structure to make this thing work. An engine can't work without certain parts in it. So that's what we got to think about. But that don't mean just because you're the head that you get the, that they give you the right to abuse a woman or talk to a woman or treat any woman any way you want to. That's not how it works. That's not what I'm saying. No, I don't believe that no man should abuse a woman, should slap a woman or hit a woman or try to, overpower a woman or tell her what she ain't gonna do. She a grown woman, just like you a grown man. So I never have that kind of mentality like I'm gonna tell a woman what she can't do. I don't even think like that. She's a grown woman. I may not agree with her decision, but at the end of the day, she's a grown woman. And I respect that, because we all got to make our own decisions. But I'm talking about working together. I'm talking about family structure. I'm talking about a man being, the head, like he's supposed to be the head. Like a man leading and trying to lead his family, to the Lord and trying to encourage them in the Lord and trying to make them get right, with God spiritually, mentally, and all that, because that's what this thing is about, man. And if the kids see their parents leading right, then they'll fall in line. But if we gonna let the kids just overpower the adults, what's the use of being an adult? And that's the problem with a lot of these parents out here, because they let their kids run them. They let their kids tell them what they not gonna do, and they let their children tell them what they is gonna do. And you're not gonna do that in my household. And a lot of these kids just don't like you because you're not gonna allow that. I'm not that type of man where ain't no child or no kid or adolescent, gonna tell me how to run my household. You're not gonna run my household. You're gonna run out of that household and go run your own household, but you're not gonna run where I'm king at. You're not gonna run where I'm the head and not the tail at. That's not how it's gonna work. So if we're gonna be in a relationship, y'all women gotta understand this. When you get a real man, this is what comes with having a real man. Even if they are not his biological kids, their responsibility becomes his responsibility. And he got just as much right as you by being a provider, a sole provider of those children, to discipline them, to correct them, and encourage them in a right way to go. And y'all women just got to understand that. And if you don't, the relationship is not going to work out. Now, us men, we got patience. I don't know how much patience I got. I don't know how much patience. Some people got more patience than other people. And some people don't have no patience at all. The first sign of trouble, they gone. But that's why we got to pray, because we got to understand that it's not only, us that brings problems and brings burdens to each other. It's also the enemy, because he don't want families together. He don't want a man and woman together. He don't want us successfully being a family and having a family structure the way God intended it. So he's going to do everything in his power to try to get in the way and try to destroy it. And that's why we need God. That's why we got to pray. That's why we got to, seek God and seek his voice and ask him to guide our steps, because we can't do this thing without God. Every person, all the people here that was married experienced this spiritual warfare. And the enemy is always going to try to find a way to come to destroy the family structure, because he don't want families together. He don't want man with woman. He want man with man, woman with woman. That's the way he want things. Those relationships, they hardly ever have any problems from the devil. But the us that's trying to do it the way God told us to, we gonna go through it. We're gonna have trouble, sometimes coming from every angle. But we can't give up. And we got to pray, us as men, man, that God give us the strength to endure. Because truthfully, we get tired. We get tired sometimes, man. And sometimes you do want to just throw your hands up and say, forget it. Let them deal with their own, let them do their thing, I do my thing. Sometimes we get those kind of thoughts. But we can't give in to that. We got to remember why we did it. And we also got to remember that this is what comes with it. No matter how much of a burden it be on our heart and on our mind sometimes, we got to understand that we got to love each other through whatever, man. And that's the hardest thing to do sometimes, is to really love people, through mess. Because we all got mess. It was a point in my life where I was full of mess. My whole life was out of control. And I thank God that he stuck with me the way he did. But my thoughts is not like God. My thoughts is not his thoughts. My ways is not his ways. I'm not as strong and as powerful as God is. I'm weak in the flesh, like, in a human, emotionally and physically. I'm really weak without God. So I need his strength. I need to be constantly in prayer and seeking his guidance. Because the enemy is always going to be fighting against us men that's trying to hold down our household. Us men that's really married, and really trying to take care of our family like we supposed to. We're going to have things that's going to come against us, man. Sometimes it'll be good, but sometimes we're going to have to fight through it. And the hardest thing to do sometimes is to fight through it, man. But it's worth it. Because you got to look at it like this. As long as we stick together, no matter what, no matter how hard times get, and that's what being married is about. That's what being in a relationship is about. It's about sticking with people through the hardest times. There's going to be times where we don't get along. There's going to be times where we don't see eye to eye. There's going to be times where we don't feel like dealing with each other. That's just how this thing is designed. This just the type of beings we are. And this is what we got to come into terms with. But we got to be strong too at the same time and say, nah, we done came too far. We didn't did too much to give up now. And I'm not letting the enemy come in, no matter what he try to do, and destroy my family. Because if he can get rid of me, he could just destroy destroy the rest of the family. If you kill a head, you kill a body. And the enemy knows this. And he'll use anybody he can to try to get in the middle of what y'all got. He'll use family. He'll use children. He'll use your children against you. He'll use her family against you. He'll use your family against you. But they always, he'll use anybody he can to try to get in the way, to try to mess up what y'all got going on. And that's why you got to be watchful. You got to watch, man. You got to be a listener. You got to stay listening to the word of God. And that's what I try to do, man. Like every day I get up, I don't feel good. A lot of things bother me. Like today, I didn't feel good. It's just one of them days where I don't feel good. I don't feel like, doing the normal things that I'm usually a happy-go-lucky guy. But today, it's just not the case. And I just got to be honest with myself and say I don't feel like doing that today. When I got to church, I didn't even feel like singing. And that's not like me. I didn't even feel like praising God. It's sad to say that, but it's the truth. But I did it anyway. I had a headache, like it was just one of them days, man, where I woke up, man, and I just wasn't feeling it. And I don't know, like the enemy attacks, or I don't know if it's just me. It's just one of these days. I don't know if I'm, the enemy, the devil trying to use me against my family, or trying to mess up things in my mind, because he know if he can kill me, he could destroy the rest of my family. But it's going to stop right here, because I'm not going to let that happen. And that's what we got to understand. That's why this spiritual warfare thing is so real, man. Because the enemy attack your mind. He start putting feelings in you. He start making you, see things and make you, and it might not even be that serious, But, he put those thoughts in you, man. And say, damn, man, I wish I wouldn't have married this person, or maybe I shouldn't have married her, or maybe I made a mistake, or maybe I did this, or maybe I did that. But just know this, God don't make no mistakes. The Bible says, who God put together, let nobody asunder. That means let nobody separate. So if you did get married, or you're in a relationship with somebody, just know that you're going to go through hard times. Y'all going to experience things. But when you give up, we let the devil win. We let him win. We just let him come in and destroy everything we got going on. And these are the hard times that we all got to go through, man. Because we don't know how it's going to come. We don't know where it's going to come from. And 9 times out of 10, none of us are ready. If we not armored up, if we don't got our mind on Jesus, if we not listening to God and letting him direct our paths. But us as men, man, we got a real responsibility. And these women, if y'all want a real man in your life, y'all gonna have to know when to step aside and when to get out the way and let the man be the man that God intended him to be. Now, I know y'all look at things and y'all say, well, I understand all that, but I'm going to do it my way, and I pay my bills, and don't nobody tell me what to do or tell my kids what to do. Well, most likely, you're going to end up without a man. And if you do get a man, he not going to have the same principles, and he not going to stand up the way God, called him to stand up. When you get a stand-up man in your life, y'all women got to learn how to fall behind that man and stand behind that man and let that man lead, because that's the way God intended it to be. If you trying to get in the way of that, you messing everything up. You supporting the devil, because you helping him fight against the man, when the man is the head and not the tail. So, I don't know why we don't talk about things like this, but I think we need to have open discussions like this, man. And for y'all that from TikTok that come here and look at my YouTube and talk about, look at my video and hear what I'm saying, we can have an open discussion about this. We need to have stuff like this. You could say, well, King Moose, I seen your video on YouTube, and I want to talk about that. We can have an open discussion about it. I don't have no problem with it. But these are things that we got to talk about, man, because we human. We got to deal with these things. Nothing is going to be easy. Nothing is just a straight roller coaster ride. You're going to have to go up. You're going to have to go down. You're going to have to go back up. Sometimes you're going to have to go in circles. Nothing is just a smooth ride. And this thing called life. We got opposition. We got enemies. We got things we got to fight against. We got to be corrected by God. We got to be, molded by him. It's just things that we got to go through, man. And none of us is going to get away from it. But to y'all women out there that hear this video and really took some time to listen to what I'm saying, if you got a man in your life and you fighting against that man, and you got a good man, he a good man, a God-fearing man, especially one that is God-fearing. You got a good man in your life if he's a God-fearing man. He might not be perfect. He might not have everything that you want a man to have and all that, but he is God-fearing. That says a lot. He's going to be your best friend if you allow him to be. He's going to come in. He's going to lead your household, and more perfectly than anything I just said, he's going to lead you to God if he's a true man of God. And that's the best thing that can ever happen to you, is having a man that'll lead you to God. So thank everybody out here, for listening to my YouTube videos. To all the new subscribers, man, I salute y'all. I thank y'all for your support, man. I thank God, for everybody who subscribed to my YouTube channel from TikTok, from Facebook, from wherever. Y'all see my videos, man. I really do appreciate y'all and appreciate y'all listening. Have a good day.